All right, guys, welcome back to. Oh, sorry. Yeah, all right, guys, welcome back to Compo Gangsters podcast, podcast of justice. Today we got myself, Ortega, and Jabril, missing Shaq. So we're talking about a little bit, so we're just gonna fill you guys in. Talking about Marvel and DC and the comic book runs and how they're going so far, just to give a little tidbit. But to segue from that into a little bit of what we were saying before, like I read a lot of the I'll read like pretty much all the Marvel main stories. Like I don't mind like the Marvel and the DC main stories, but like the side stories, like for example, Agents of Wakanda. Like I stopped reading that the third issue in after uh the bald girl that was in like the I forgot her name uh, the from he's like I never miss the girl was played by the black lady.
I never met.
Uh,
I have no idea what you're talking
from
about.
from
You
Black
fucking
Panther.
yeah
Aoki, I
the
think her
ball
name or something like that.
all the one with
Moral
the
of the
spear the your gate your guardian.
oh, dang.
Oh,
Moral.
Nebula? Nebula.
No, not Nebula.
Nebula.
The one with the spear.
Thanos, right?
The one with the Black Panther people.
Oh,
Yeah,
oh.
yeah, that one.
Damn, I don't know any of their names. I
Yeah.
know
Moral of the story. I stopped
I know
reading it.
T'Challa and N'Jaka. And M'Baku. That's who I know.
I stopped reading Agents of Wakanda the third issue in after this regular human put the combined Dark Sentry in a headlock with her spear. I was like, all right, what's happening here? This guy can literally rip gods apart. He could rip gods apart when he was imperfect, when he didn't accept the void. Now he's accepted the void and combined all the parts of Sentry, and he's become one. Why are you able to rip him in half? Why are you able to hold him? Like, this makes absolutely no sense. I was like, I
It's
can't read this.
it's that Wakandan strength, bro.
I will scream. I will high pitch burp in everybody's ear.
Yeah. No, I don't know. You know what's funny? Like the only and I guess maybe because it's a little different, but the only team like comics. I mean, that's what it is. The team comics
Yeah,
in Marvel is like X-Men for me. Like Avengers. Oh, that's not even true though, because I did enjoy Champions. Champions was good.
I definitely enjoyed Champions. Champions was really good. And if you guys ever get the chance, you should definitely read it. How do you guys feel about the Camilla Law or the Camilla Act?
Oh,
Where,
Outlawed was good.
yeah, where you can't be a hero if you're only, like you're 21 and up. Like what is this?
What?
So I can like even in the Marvel universe, I can still go out fucking I could go out to fight in a war, fight
That was
superpowered aliens, but I can't be a superhero.
that was my first thought. I was like, wait, 21? Because at first I was like, all right, I don't know, maybe like I don't know, this kind of makes sense. I mean, given what I do for a living, I'm kind of like, yeah, maybe protect the kids. I don't know, maybe we should stop allowing like children to be out there putting their
Yeah,
lives
but
on the line.
like
But then I was like 21. I was like, really? So at 18, a regular person can just go to war, get shot at, die, put their lives on the line, but they can't defend their own neighborhood?
and it's like, bro, I'm a literal superhero. Like I'm a literal like at most you can only get other superheroes to stop me. And
Yeah.
like it's really just like a watered down version of the Marvel Civil War thing, but it definitely poses like honestly, I think they should have had it like, oh, you got to be 18 and up, and then if you want to be like a
No, they
like a
couldn't do that.
local
They
level
couldn't do that.
superhero, if you want to be a
You know,
local level superhero, get a permit.
I mean, well, they do have kind of that. You can be a superhero under the age of 21 if you're supervised by, or mentored by an adult superhero.
Nah,
Like
I
you
don't
can't
believe that.
you can't be a superhero by yourself. Like you know how like Kid Flash goes off and just he does his Kid Flash things by himself? Like he'd be
That's
arrested.
illegal.
I don't know who would catch him, but
Yeah, I don't want that, man, because I'll be damned. Like if I
you
got like the powers of Hyperion or something, and then
you saw
somebody that's like the Falcon tells me I can't be a superhero. It's like, bro, I'll rip you in half. Like I'll
Could you
eat
imagine-
everybody here.
Why don't you just
could
obey
you
the law?
imagine somebody telling Benjamin Franklin, or Franklin Richards at
At 16
at 9
Yeah,
years
nine.
old.
Hey man, I know you're out here creating these pocket dimensions and all these
Yeah.
alternate realities, but you have to legally you have to stop. No, you need to cut that out. You have
I
to
know,
obey our
yeah.
American laws.
I know you're fixing the universe right now,
Yeah,
but stop
yeah.
it.
Like how do you stop? How do you enforce that? And
Like,
like, is it
and you're
just
gone.
yeah, yeah? Is it just on like an American level? Like is it only in America? Because if that's the case,
Sounds
they're
like,
neutering
sounds like
themselves.
it. It sounds
If
like
that's
it,
the case,
yeah.
they're neutering themselves. Because Russia's not gonna listen to that. They're gonna have kids out there at like 8 years old, punching holes in elephants, wrestling bears and shit like that. Shang-Chi's got a whole like freaking, like monastery where he's
Did you see
training.
Spider-Gwen's reaction to the law?
Oh yeah, what's she like? This is stupid. Like,
Yo, she went at Peter, which was weird because, sometimes I forget that in like main continuity, Peter's like a full-grown adult.
yeah,
Because
I mean,
I'm
he is now a
growing
grown
up,
man.
he was always in high school. Like, and they aged him up a little bit. He was in college and stuff. And I just keep forgetting. Yeah, he's like 30 something years old. So she straight out calls him an old man, and I don't know why, but I felt so called out by Spider-Gwen. Like I was on her side. I'm like, you right, but we really got to go there. Like, why we gotta come old? Like, poor guy.
That's your fault.
Yo, man,
Man, the
not his
wonders of
fault.
being 30.
yeah, I realize that Peter Parker is on the wrong side of a lot of these things. Like he's
Yeah.
that kid that got into a lot of trouble, and then when he got older, he's like, "Hey guys, let's all be safe, okay? Don't do that, all right? Because I know from experience, because I was the cool guy. Listen to me now." And it's like, "All right, Peter, stop talking, because I'm tired of that." You know?
And like she made a good point when she was coming at him because the whole reason that she was pissed off was because what was his name, the Jackal,
Hmm.
followed her to her dimension or whatever, um, to try and kill her. And she's like, Jackal doesn't care I'm underage. Like these villains don't give a damn
Yeah,
that I'm not 21. They're
yeah.
coming at me. What am I supposed to do?
Like if anything, you're only making it easier for the villains.
Yeah,
They're like, oh,
basically.
okay. Like, so now I don't have to worry about any of the champions. I don't have to worry about any of the new Avengers. I don't have to worry about any of the kid Avengers. I was like, this is
No,
awesome.
no new mutants. Honestly, like with the whole resurrection thing, people are coming back younger, so most of the X-Men are probably just out.
Yeah. He's like, I don't have to worry about none of these kids grabbing me up. These older guys aren't gonna get here fast enough. It's just gonna be a bunch of kids like, hey, you stop that! Citizens arrest. He's like, all right, well, don't touch me. You know what I predict is gonna happen? One of these kids are gonna attack a supervillain, and then a supervillain is gonna sue them. A supervillain is gonna sue them and be like, oh, this child accosted me. By the law,
I mean,
they should go to jail. They are now a villain too. And then everybody's like, all right, maybe this law is now
Throw that kid in the
fundamentally
fucking-
wrong.
Put that kid in the slammer. Put that kid away.
Yeah, throw that kid in the box. Yeah, she. Get him out of here, she. Yeah, get out of here.
there's a lot. I see a lot of people complaining that it feels too much like Civil War. But I think Marvel does a good job of like making their stories mirror the times and issues that we're like currently dealing with and stuff. And I think right now, especially like politically in this country, like the whole age thing is a problem. Like there's so many young people that feel that older people just don't listen to them, and they're the ones making waves. And you got more than ever incredible amount of young people getting political and getting involved in national and international policies and stuff like that, and they don't get taken seriously by a lot of their older counterparts. So I think it's an interesting take. I'm down to read it. I'm excited for it.
Definitely. Yeah, I mean, I'm gonna keep reading. I'm gonna see what happens. Like 9 times out of 10, it's probably gonna end where the kids, where they abolish it because it was probably made by some villain in the in politics. It's just,
It ends with Mephisto coming back and making another deal with Miles Morales.
yeah, he's like, hey
Oh,
guy,
shit.
he's like, what's up, man? I'm back. You like the last one? And I was like, hey,
Yeah,
man, trick me.
right.
I made a deal with the devil and it didn't pan out the way I thought it would. It's like, you figured me out. He caught me red-handed. And it's like, I don't know, man. and it also
Who's gonna arrest Miles? Can you explain that one to me?
I don't know. I don't know who's gonna be strong enough.
He'll go invisible. Like
Yeah, it's gonna disappear. Like you would need like such a niche specific like tracker to get him. You need like one of like
My power makes Miles Morales specifically uninvisible.
yeah. Like oh because of the thermonuclear receptors in my nostrils, I could smell Miles Morales from a mile away just by having a bit of his clothing. It's like all right. So what else can you do though? Well, that's pretty much it.
He
I've
smells
got a lot of
Miles
Miles oriented ability.
Yeah, I got pretty much everything I do is to get the champions.
If I can fight Miles Morales, then I'll win 9 times out of 10.
Yeah, you put me up.
Anyone else, instant defeat.
Yeah, you know. You want me to fight Mole Man? Defeat. I've lost. Waterman? I've lost. Yeah.
Didn't Mole Man just make an appearance in a comic?
Yeah, Spider-Man one.
What was it?
Doc Ock. Yeah. I really hate their decision to go back on Doc Ock being Spider-Man. No, or not. I don't think he should have been a Spider-Man, but I think Superior. If he just stayed as Superior Octopus, it would have been amazing. That's my thing. That would be my.
I haven't finished Superior Octopus, but I don't know why I stopped reading. I think I just got involved with other comics. But I was enjoying Superior Octopus. It was really good, and I thought it was a great take on the character, a great evolution for the character. The progression felt fairly natural, and yeah, I liked his hijinks. I liked that he was out there being a hero and being begrudging about it, just always pissed off that he's doing the right thing.
Yeah, like I really hate the fact that that's the one thing I hate about Marvel is just make a new character. Like you don't have to he doesn't have to become the hero. Like he doesn't have to become the hero that was whipping his butt like his ass the entire time. Like we don't need Doctor Doom becoming Iron Man. Okay? He could have just been Doctor Doom being Iron Man.
What was it? Infamous Iron Man? Is that what it was?
Iron Man, yeah.
That was good. I enjoyed it for what it was.
The run was good. I just don't like the name of it. Like, why couldn't it just be Infamous Doom?
Infamous Doom. That just doesn't sound like a hero.
He wasn't really doing hero things. I mean, he was doing hero things. Like, he wasn't really doing hero things, yo. He was like, because he was a villain, before he was like, oh, I know where all the villains are. Let me just stop that.
You know what it is? Infamous Doom is too good of a name for a title. They're waiting to put that on something.
Oh, absolutely. I had
a question. How do we feel about because something we were talking about earlier that I mentioned I wanted to ask about, but how do we feel about this whole X-Men self-isolation on Krakoa, and then how do we feel about the whole X-Men Fantastic Four run with the Fantastic Four freaking out on the X-Men coming to invite Franklin to just come to Krakoa?
I think that Reed Richards and Sue Richards are typical white people.
Tell me not.
It's like I don't want my child hanging out with your kind. It's like, oh, well, that's wild. What are you saying there, buddy? That's a borderline racist. Just say it. Just go and say the N-word. You want to say it. That's just at the back of your tongue like a cough. All right.
Oh, in the X-Men comments, that's just mutie. That's what they mean when they say
absolutely. Mutie. He's like, you damn muties. He's like, all right, say it. No, but say it louder. Say it louder so I can. Yeah, and then now my eyes are glowing and his aren't, and it's like everything's different now. It's crazy.
But my thing is like that incident right there, everything that happened in that first issue, Fantastic Four X-Men, where Kate, Charles, and Magneto show up and are like, hey, so we just wanted to invite Franklin to Krakoa because he's a mutant technically, so if he wants to come, the invite's open. Their reaction to them, just going completely ballistic.
Keep your kind from around here. Stay away from my boy. He wants no parts in that. Like,
all that did was prove exactly why they needed to be on Krakoa. It proves why they were like, fuck this.
Yeah. And he's like, by me, that was like, Reed, aren't you like a genius, dog? Like what you're saying is just intellectually just false. Like you're being a bad guy right now.
You're being a bad dude.
And
Yeah,
it's like
oh man, he messes with
Franklin's
Franklin's.
powers too. He's like
What the hell?
he's like Franklin could have been
Gives him an
so much
implant
stronger
to mask his mutant gene.
because he knew, and then everybody was looking. I was like Franklin. I mean Reed. That's wrong. That's wrong. What if black people were just putting in implants to just mask their blackness? You know, bleaching. You know, it'd be crazy. You know. And
Oh man, it's nuts because like so when the whole X-Men run like popped off, and you know they were their own nation. I'm like, all right, that's cool. Let's see where this goes and stuff. Yeah, I didn't think about the implications that it would have on the rest of the Marvel universe, like socially. Like there's a group of people that are like we're better.
I think that this is such a long time coming. Like they did it before, like with Utopia and then the House of
Genosha.
Yeah, Genosha. And it's like all of those failed because they were doing shady shit. You know? But at this time, like with this one, they're extremely transparent and open with everybody. Like they're like you come up and you ask Charles and Magneto what's going on. I'm like, oh yeah, no, we're about to go do some shit. Like
yeah, like
shit.
How does your trade work? Oh well, we have our legal trade with the countries that recognize us. They get all our medicines, whatever they want, and the countries that don't recognize us, we have the Hellfire Club to do our illegal trading. Oh, yeah. That's how you run things. Yeah, that's what we do.
He's like, yeah, that's pretty much it. We need money. You know, this is still a country. We need monetary gains.
And I think that's what's different with this run as opposed to Utopia and Genosha and all that is that as opposed to just creating this like sanctuary and stuff where the plan was just keep humans out and that's it. With Krakoa, they found a way to introduce themselves into the fabric of what is humanity, and that's well, at least for the Western world, anyways, capitalism or money. Like
absolutely,
they're rooted in.
This one is like not only will we play your game, but we'll play it so much better because at the end of the day, you're just a human, and I can breathe fire. Like, why would I listen to a guy that can't breathe fire when there's a guy who can breathe fire telling me to do something?
Fair point.
Everything you're saying is going to be it's going to be very different. The conversations are going to be very different. You know, like if I say I'm in a meeting, right, and I come and meet with a guy's like, oh yeah, no, come do business with our XYZ American company, or we give you this much, and then he leaves, and then a guy breathing fire comes in and says the same thing. I'm gonna do business because now I know at minimum they can both get to me. Like they both can come here for a conversation. Right?
Yeah.
I'll be damned. Oh, somebody's gonna hit me with a fireball in my head.
And as I'm reading these comics, I sometimes every so random it hits me, just like how jaded, absolutely jaded, Xavier has to be because he's walking around. Let's not forget. From House and Powers of X, walking around with the knowledge of the 10 years or the 10 lifetimes that it took for him to build something for it to absolutely fail. 10 lifetimes. And he walking around with all that all the time.
I'll be honest. It's like his fault though. Like he only has himself to blame.
I mean, a lot of it is, yeah.
He came back and did the same thing every single time.
Well, he didn't know any different. He didn't realize it was a different life.
Hey, look, it's the writers, but like it's like, come on, doc. If it didn't work 8 times ago, why is it gonna work the 9th and 10th time?
That's what people are saying about Krakoa, though.
I don't know. Krakoa. I think like Krakoa is just fundamentally different. It's just fundamentally.
Oh, because the island itself is a mutant. Like, what's your defense? My island is a mutant.
Yes. As long as nothing happens to do we even like fully know what the heck Krakoa is? Like other than that it's a mutant? Like how did it be?
Yeah, so we're getting little bits and tidbits of Krakoa's origins here or there, and it's funny because it's happening in the midst of these like separate stories, mostly in Excalibur, but like it's so overlooked that this is the origin of Krakoa. Like it's not even mentioned. It's not talked about. Like this is how it be. It's just like, oh, so when Apocalypse first came around, Krakoa was there with this other island together, and he separated them. So we're getting tidbits of how old Krakoa actually is.
Mm.
We're not getting the full origin story yet, but we are getting a lot more into the history than we ever have. But it's being told as part of like Apocalypse.
I really hope that they stay with the status quo and just like let these mutants just come home, bro. Like they've been fighting for this for a long
Yo,
time.
they had the school for years, and then it got destroyed, and then they just been floating around ever since.
Which was it was a little bit of Cyclops' fault. I will blame Cyclops.
A little bit, a little bit.
It was all
It
Cyclops'
was
fault.
all solid, but at the same time, was he wrong?
No, absolutely not. He made a very, very stout point in AVX, Avengers vs. X-Men, where he was talking to where everybody was like,
By the way, AVX, Avengers X-Men, one of my favorite runs.
an amazing comic book run, start to finish. He made
Anybody who hasn't read that or looking into honestly, if you're looking into get into comics, that story standalone, it's great. You really don't need to know much else. There's like a bit of a plot hole, but
take that one. That one's for me. Hi, alley.
no, there's one little plot hole they left without explaining that bothers me, but it's fine.
What's the plot hole?
Well, the whole thing that started with being about Rachel.
Oh, yeah.
And after a while, if you notice, she just wasn't even in the story anymore. by the end of those story runs, she wasn't even there.
Disappeared for like 80% of it, and then came back at the end like, "Oh, I'm actually the vessel for the Phoenix," and it wasn't the vessel for the Phoenix.
And that was it. Yeah, like there was a bunch of vessels.
Yeah,
that's what this whole story was about. But no,
you know,
that was a really great story.
Definitely. But as I was saying, Cyclops, he said a really good thing to Captain America in the AVX run, where he's like, because everybody was dying from like the Targaryen gas and like all that good jazz. Because I think that's around the time where the Targaryen gas was like clapping everybody up. Or is
the Inhumans thing?
Yeah.
AVX was years before the Inhumans War.
No, okay, my fault. This is when this is just they were just dealing with their normal, just run of the mill, just getting the shitty end of the stick, and he told Captain America, he was like, "Look, man, like we keep dealing with all this shit, right? Like you came out to help the Inhumans, you came out to help the regular humans, you're helping all these aliens before you even help us. When is it gonna be our turn?" And then it's like, he's like, "We're done." Because Captain America was like, "Yo, if you stand down now, we promise nothing bad will happen." He's like, "After we fix this." He's like, "Why? Like, why would we give up all this power when we finally have enough to just survive?" Because that's what they were doing. They were just trying to survive. And it's like, Captain America, it's a real tough thing to sell, to convince you to give up all the power that you know would keep your people safe.
Right.
And it's like, what are you going to say, Captain America? What are you going to say? Captain America's like, "Oh, yeah, you're right. Shield throw."
Well, Cyclops said something similar during the whole Dawn of X series at the very beginning. Actually, they met with the Fantastic Four in Central Park after an incident with one of the Gates first showed up. Mm-hmm. I'm trying to find it now. Oh, here it is. Yeah, he says... he tells this to Sue, I believe, to Sue Storm. He's like, "My family has spent our entire lives being hunted and hated. The world has told me that I was less when I knew that I was more. Did you honestly think that we were going to sit around forever and just take it?" And he's not wrong. Like, that's
not wrong at all.
Drop the mic. That was a truth bomb that people need to hear. Like, you neglect these people, treat people awfully, and eventually they're going to rise up against you.
Absolutely. They just like the X-Men deal with, or just the mutants just in general deal with so much. Like when Black Bolt and his brother dropped those Targaryen bombs and was going around killing everybody, not a single person cared about what was happening to the mutants. No one cared. Like no one did anything. The mutants were on the verge of extinction, and then nobody did nothing. So much so that when someone started to do something, they looked at him as the villain. When
Yeah.
Scott Summers was like, I have to, my people are literally dying by the droves. I have to do something. And again, Captain America, all these other like people were coming in. You saw like just how like predatory the Inhumans were. Like they would come and like say you were a mutant and then you woke up as like a Inhuman, they would come and just take you. They're like, oh no, you're with us. We have diplomatic immunity. Let's go. And it's like, what makes you better than me? And that, like I said before, like that definitely plays a lot to like I don't know. Hopefully, you guys are starting to see the pattern here for you guys listening. It's like you can see the similarities with how everything is in society to this day. It's like you treat a subgroup or a minority of people like trash. You treat them like trash, and then once they finally like start rising up or like start showing like just pride in who they are as a person, it's viewed as oh this person thinks they're better than me. It's like, no, like I'm just you. The thing that you hate about me the most, I'm now showing you that that's my best quality. And it's like you see that a lot with mutants. It's like, oh, you hated me for so long for being a mutant, but that's not what I'm defined as. Or like, for example, like even like with like minorities, like black people, Spanish people, etc. Like you hate me so much for being this, but that's not who I am. That's not my definition. I am who I make myself out to be. Judge me based upon my character, not based upon your perception of me. And I like it. I like it a lot how they're definitely handling the X-Men run, because it shows a lot about.
I mean, now that you bring that like to that point, when X-Men was first created, Charles Xavier, Magneto were supposed to be the metaphors for what was going on in society. Malcolm X, Martin Luther King. If you still take that into context, the question that this run is now posing, right? I guess is what would have happened if those two would have teamed up and decided, nah, what we need to do is not just be, separate but equal on this land. We need to have our own property. We need to have our own land, and that's just where we reside, and can't nobody tell us what to do and what not to do.
Definitely.
Like what would have happened then,
Like,
and it's funny. And I'll give a little plug to Killer Mike show on Netflix, because he had an episode where he essentially created his own little country called New Africa in like Atlanta, Georgia, or something. But this was the question that he was proposing, right? Like for him, he spent some time living off of only black made and black owned business products, and trying to see if that was like sustainable. And like he obviously, the products weren't going to be the quality that big manufacturer companies can produce and stuff, but he got some good stuff. And essentially, he explored that question, like, would it be better for a group of people that are constantly getting what the heck is that? A group of people that are constantly getting discriminated against to just leave, create their own place, and just be asked to be left alone?
Yeah, I mean, I agree. I
right. It's an interesting question. It's definitely an interesting question.
It's definitely an interesting question. On my end, like I'm definitely for it. Like the coming together aspect of it, like except the polygamy. I'm kidding, because that brings us to another thing. Scott Summers and Wolverine are having sex.
What? Yeah, absolutely. I'm about the polyamory. I love it. Real subtle.
Subtle. I meant I'm for it, not against it. My fault. I minced my words. I apologize. Yeah, I'm all for that. Yeah, I want to see Scott coming out with some scratches on his back that weren't from Gene.
That's not gonna lie. I was waiting for that. I was like, I want to see some accidental, just like marks on like Scott's like back, just on his like what the hell, like oh
Yeah.
sorry,
All right, so viewers,
got excited.
viewers, they can't tell, but because my camera isn't on, they can't see that I've been making faces this entire time and not saying words. How I feel about what they're saying is very, very different from how they feel about what they're saying.
How do you feel?
How do I feel? You know, you guys are.
Oh, no, go ahead. Actually, that's perfect time for you to put your input actually, because
Scott
these are one of the
Summers,
things.
Jean Grey, and Wolverine are all in a polyamorous relationship, and it's very open. It's actually really common throughout all of Krakoa. You pretty
Yeah,
much
actually.
Really?
yeah. Well, you gotta take into account they're trying to make a population. You
How many
know?
people?
They're
How many
trying to-
people are in Krakoa? Like, I guess.
Couple-
I guess now.
I think it's like
Thousands.
200,000,
Yeah.
something like that.
So like a small city, and but they're trying to build a nation. They're trying to build a country. So,
Okay.
you
Well,
gotta-
it's not only that, but like on the the nights that Krakoa was founded, and they threw that huge bash that looked like a lot of fun. They're always partying on Krakoa. But yeah, the whole thing was like people were putting their grudges aside and just figuring how to work things out. And one of the reasons that Wolverine and Scott never got along was because Wolverine was in love with Jean. Jean could never deny that as much as she loved Scott, she always chose Scott over Wolverine. She absolutely loved both of them. So solution to the problem. There you go. Everybody's happy.
Yeah, everybody's happy, and they're with it too. Like Wolverine was making some coy remarks and like looking at Scott's ass like, yeah, man, you got a nice ass. I was like, dog, what's wrong with
That's
y'all?
not the way it went down.
That's
not the
basically-
way it went down.
That's basically how it went down. They were sitting there
That's not the way it
drinking.
went down. All right,
And he
bro.
was like, yo, you
All right,
got a
hold
nice
on,
ass.
hold on.
dog.
So they were
You got
sitting on
jinxed.
lawn chairs, and they were talking about going on vacation because Scott and Jean are taking their kids on vacation, and Scott was like, "You should come," and Wolverine's like, "Nah, like the beach is not my thing," and Scott was like, "Oh, you sure?" And Wolverine's like, "Well, you know what, Jeannie in a bikini, that sounds like a good sight," and then Scott was like, "Oh, how about Scotty in a speedo?" And Wolverine was like, "Yeah, I wouldn't miss that either." Like, yeah.
He's
Well,
like,
that's
"All
kind
right."
of the same. That's kind of the
It's
same
He's like,
thing.
yeah, I'm trying to see Scott Summers double caked up on
Scott.
a nice Tuesday.
Listen,
Scott, you look good.
listen, when the artwork's real good, Scott's got a nice tush. I'm just saying.
No, you're not wrong. He's really sculpted, like he does
As
the
long as
squats
we're
all
gonna be on
day.
the same page.
But yeah, I'm here for it, man. I'm here for it. It definitely brings a lot of closure to a lot of relationships that you see.
Oh, for sure. I agree 100%. I love that Dawn of X is bringing a lot of closure to a lot of different relationships. Watching Storm slap the fuck out of Emma Frost after Kate died was fantastic.
Slap the stew out of her, just the taste out of her mouth. Yeah, I love that. I love it when a black girl shows that shit off. Beat her. But
Oh, that was so good though, because those two do not like each other, and here comes Storm, slaps her, and Emma understands exactly why she's so upset. So she doesn't retaliate or anything. They just kind of cry with each other.
and probably go have hot lesbian sex afterwards. And I'm here for that.
I don't think.
I think it's like some real aggressiveness. Like they're not doing it out of love.
Storm's married, man. I think Storm is faithful.
Bro, 90% of the people on Krakoa are married. They don't care. That big Matrix orgy that they had, they have every Tuesday. Like, hey man, you gonna come to the bonfire? You know it, man. He smacks Scott in the butt, just sticks a little middle finger up in there. Get a little wild, get a little spicy.
Well, all right. Then let's talk a little bit about that never seems to be at the party because they're always elsewhere. The New Mutants. How do you feel about the way that they've been telling the story? Because essentially they've been telling two separate stories in one book. Have you noticed that? You got the team that's been out in outer space, and you have the team that was on that farm or whatever.
Oh yeah,
And now they came back. Like they're all together now, but
I don't know.
yeah, how do you feel about that? Yeah, I feel a lot of people aren't really. Most people I speak to, anyways, just don't really seem to gravitate towards the New Mutants book. The outer space stuff was not interesting.
Yeah, I'm gonna wait till they do something fancy.
Like what?
I don't know. Fight somebody at work. Do something.
I can't say that the X-Men really are fighting anybody of worth. They're all just fighting the same kind of like robotic thing.
I understand why they can't do anything crazy right now, though. Like, I understand that they have to like really bring into themselves and get this cemented. Like, you see Apocalypse, like he's out here, like he's like, I'm gonna bring back magic. We're gonna have mutant magic. We're gonna have mutant magic. We're gonna have t-shirts. We're gonna have popsicle shoot t-shirt cans. Poof poof poof. Woo!
Yeah, no, Apocalypse is really gung ho about bringing back this mutant
Apocalypse
magic hype.
is the Oprah of Krakoa. He's
Oh.
like, you get some magic. You get some magic. We all get magic. He's like, everybody look under your chairs. Guess what I got for you? A stone. What does a stone do, guys? Gives you mutant magic. Let's go. I love it. I love it. And now freaking Rogue, she like sucked the energy out of.
I love that. Oh, yo, and so wait, I still had maybe I missed something when I was reading it. Why can Rogue and Gambit have kids now? Even though she doesn't want to, she says she doesn't want to, and whatever, they're not gonna. But apparently, yeah, they can touch.
She got fixed.
And
She got, because remember like her whole issue was like she would like suck the life out of anything. And I think that's what that magic combined with whatever Apocalypse is doing.
that's what it was, right?
Yeah, combined with, Krakoa, getting reborn, like basically perfect. I love what they're doing too. Like after, you remember when this is a while back, House of M, after Scarlet Witch said no more mutants, and like what they're doing now, like everybody who lost their powers, you come to Krakoa, you fight to the death, and then you get brought back with your powers.
Yeah, the
I love that.
whatever it's called.
I'm here for that.
Yo, that got a lot of controversy too, man, because that issue was actually really good because it gave you a good perspective, not just as like the political side of it, not just the understanding as to why they're doing this, but also thanks to Nightcrawler, a very like religious like look at it and stuff. So I thought it was really cool they had different angles. But yo, that shit is vicious. You have to like choose to let Apocalypse murder you as you fight back, because if you fight back, you're not worthy. If you don't fight back, you're not worthy. Like, it's fucking crazy.
Yeah, and you like.
Okay, yeah. So
Jabril,
Jabril, let's say that you were a mutant who lost your powers after Scarlet Witch did the House of M thing, and now you're on Krakoa. People make fun of you because you don't got powers. Like, you're a mutant without powers. Haha. So you're like, how do I get my powers back? And they're like, oh, well, when mutants die and then we resurrect them, they resurrect perfect. So you would have your powers back. All right, cool. So can I kill myself? No, we passed a law that if you if you want your powers back, you can't just go off and off yourself. You have to fight to the death with Apocalypse. And if you ever stop fighting, he won't kill you and you're just stuck without powers.
That fucking sucks. What the fuck? I'm sorry. Maybe I don't want to get demonetized. That sucks. What the fuck? Jesus Christ.
I'm here for
What's
that.
Not a backwards ass.
It's not like he's using superpowers against you. No, he's just beating you.
We're not making money. You can curse.
Oh God.
Our 14 viewers. But I mean, it's like, yo, dog, man. So I gotta choose between, I gotta let this guy beat my ass.
Well, at the same time, you got to remember that the mutant's relationship with death is very different right now because it doesn't matter. People die and they get resurrected. I mean, they're trying to make it seem like a bigger deal. Wolverine had a pretty powerful line. He was like, resurrection doesn't cure trauma. Like, yeah, you resurrect, but you remember dying, and that shit'll stay with you. But as far as
I'm back. But I'm back. What does it matter?
That's the thing, right? That's the attitude about it. Like, hopefully that will prevail. But no, mental health professionals will let you know that trauma will eventually come back and bite you in the ass. Like Abdul when he's 40 and drops a gallon of milk and starts crying in the corner.
Yeah,
that is true.
That's gonna happen. I'm gonna drop him. Just start pouring.
How are they being resurrected then? How is that happening?
Just the island.
Oh, the island just brings them back.
No. So there's 5 separate mutants that combine their powers to create a life and imprint it with their DNA and memories. And every single, I don't know if it's every day or every so often, Charles Xavier does a sweep of Krakoa and the world, or I think just Krakoa maybe, with his helmet. What's it called again? Cerebro. Yeah, he does a scan with Cerebro to back up everybody's memories and consciousness so that if they happen to die, he has the most updated version of them to bring them
What the
back
fuck?
as.
Just putting out brand new firmware, people. Like, yeah. He's like, yeah, I'm Abdul 3.7, firmware update 1.03.
Yeah, and
Man,
like it's funny because
I don't know. I
when
think
you're
that's a
talking about a
flawed.
book,
I think that's a flawed. Just
What?
because what if one of those 5 mutants die?
That's what I was. The entire time you were telling me that stuff, I was thinking, yo, something needs to happen. Someone needs to be
well,
killed.
oh well, that's why those 5 mutants they never leave Krakoa. They're super protected.
Yeah,
Like,
but it's like, so what? It's like somebody's gonna get clapped, and then everybody's gonna be looking around like, oh, it's real different now. Like, I can't die. I can't die, or that's it.
you know what's real funny? That like they dealt with the question of like, oh, they got brought back, but is this the same person? Like super fast in the beginning of the whole Dawn of X thing when they were like, nope, they are mutant, they are this person, that's just who they are. But it's funny how a book like what's going on in Iron Man raises kind of a similar question that I have to this. Iron Man, he died, he came back with nanotechnology, and now he has a synthetic body with the memories of Tony Stark, and he's Tony Stark Iron Man. The question is he really Tony?
Iron Man's human, so
Right.
He pussy. you know,
Now,
it's just there's
Well,
no
he's
other
not
way
human
to
anymore.
really
He's
put it.
an android now. He's an android now.
pussy.
He's not
He's
human.
Pussy. He pussy. You know,
pussy 'cause
all the other mutants are like, this shit is fucking lit, dog. Like,
Yeah. No, they are. The mutants don't seem to care. The only mutants that seem to care are the mutants that survive like tough shit, like Domino.
Yeah.
Well, Domino cared until she got resurrected, and then her resurrected self was like, "Nope, I was wrong. This shit's great."
He's like, this
Oh
is
my God.
fucking
something needs
amazing.
to change.
Yeah.
I'm like 2 sentences in. I'm like, something needs to change, but someone needs to. We need to bring back the fear of death. Bring back the fear of death to mutants.
Yeah, that's what.
Someone's
what's
gotta
crazy-
die.
So
That's why they
well,
stopped.
actually, the cool thing about the whole like resurrection thing and like having no fear of death is that it does introduce the ability to explore stories in a different way. So like for example with Wolverine #1, it starts off where Wolverine can't remember anything. He wakes up and all the X-Men around him are dead. Obviously he killed them all. So it's not about, oh no, these X-Men are dead, we know they're going to come back because we can resurrect them. It's trying to find out who took control of Wolverine. Same deal with what's going on with Storm right now. Storm has a bomb in her brain or something, and or like yeah, and yeah, it's not about her dying. She'll die, they'll resurrect her, and that's fine. But it's finding out who put the bomb in there in the first place, how they got there. So we get to explore stories in a different way without having to worry about who killed her. Like that was it. That's the only question we have to ask. Like no, like now the questions we can explore is how they do it, why they do it, how they even get in there, stuff like that.
And that definitely like they tried to like circumvent some of this too in the beginning where they were like, oh yeah, no, that's why we're not gonna have any clones. You got to be real mutants, and it's like because like it also that was one of my big worries. Like, what if like the government just clones a mutant and just sends them in there with like a Targaryen bomb in their chest? Like they go there and then they just blow up and then they kill the mutants that bring everybody back. It's like so they have to like go about this like very very smart, or they will lose everything.
I'm real curious how this is all going to turn out. I really don't want it to be another another House of M situation. I really don't. I really want Krakoa to be the new status quo, to be the give them at least a decade of a stable place to live, man.
Yeah, just let them have a home.
No, shake this shit. Shake up the status quo. Do something else.
No, but their status quo has literally it's like they're in a snow loop and some child is just shaking it for like
Good.
like give them like let the dust settle, dog. Like
You wanna give him
like even the Inhumans for like a long bit up until Black Bolt got clapped up and sent into jail, sent to space jail. He's they had a home, which I didn't like that. He came back like an alien kid that he adopted. I didn't like
Wait,
any of
what?
that.
Wait,
Yeah,
wait, I don't.
Black Bolt went to jail, like space jail. He sent
Yeah,
himself
yeah.
to space jail, and then he came back with an alien child. He's like, yeah, no.
No, I don't remember that.
You don't remember the kid that was following through the entire, all the chapters. He came back with like a little blue kid.
No, either I'm not remembering or I stopped reading.
It was all right. He came back with this little blue kid. He's like, hey man, he's like, all right, you're with me now. You're with me now. Come with me if you want to live. And then for like the first time in a little bit, he could actually speak without shattering everything. And I honestly think that's probably why the Inhumans TV show failed. They need to give him like another power or something like that, like telepathy, because all this
They keep shooting themselves in the foot with this. You have the leader, incredibly powerful hero, but he can't talk. There's no
word.
dialogue.
Like, I'm not going to sit here and
That's weird.
guess what you're saying, dog. You gonna speak?
He doesn't know like sign language.
And it's not like his costume is in any way. You can't play around with that. It's not like the artwork in the comics can be gorgeous and beautiful. It's just a black jumpsuit.
Black jumpsuit with acrylic with
silver bolts
wings
on the side
and accordion
He
wings.
doesn't carry like a pencil and paper.
Nah, he needs to walk around with an etch-a-sketch.
That's fucking.
Put an etch-a-sketch.
I would not respect a hero that did that.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I mean, he deaf.
I mean,
He mute. That's rude.
no, he's not deaf. He can hear.
Yeah, I'm saying
He's not mute because he can talk. It's just that with every sound of his voice, the universe shatters.
Yeah, he
So,
can't even,
pencil and paper, huh?
But yeah, pencil etch-a-sketch, man. He could have put
Yo,
something in his suit.
Abdul, I want to ask you, did you read Spider-Woman, the new one?
No.
All right, give that a read. We'll talk about it next time.
All right. But I think all these scientists in the Marvel Universe, they could have gave this man something. They could have put like a chip and like a voice box in his throat that could just say what he's thinking. Like, they're giving us nothing, man. He's choosing to keep walking around.
There's scientists in the Marvel Universe that have figured out time travel. They can't figure out how to get this guy to talk.
That's what I'm saying, man. They could do something. They could do something.
You got Doctor Strange is going in between dimensions. He created his own little pocket dimension with a forge to create his own mystical weaponry. He can't give this man a voice.
He can't get his man. He can't let him say a sentence, huh? Nobody can't do that. It's crazy. I also like the Doctor Doom issues that are happening out right now.
Oh,
really,
the Doctor Doom title is a good one.
Really, really good. It's placating to what I love about Doctor Doom. He's like, I'm the smartest. I'm the best. No matter what, I will win. Because in the end, there's nothing but doom. And all I'm saying is, so far, he has never been wrong.
Actually, he just got played.
And then which one?
In the latest issue, he got played. He found out that the vision that he saw of the future, the one that he's been like fighting for this whole run, that it was a fake. It was an implanted vision to try to get him to do all this shit that he's doing.
I know too. Like Kang was trying to fight him, and he like stabbed him in the neck with a piece of shrapnel.
Yo, the interactions between Doom and Kang are like some of the funniest things I've been reading in comics. I think like those two are wonderful.
Those combinations that you just would have never guessed would be hilarious. Like Moon Knight and Spider-Man. Like Moon Knight and Spider-Man interacting with one another is just chef's kiss. It's a delight. Kang and Doctor Doom is just two assholes that at the end win, and they just like, yeah, no, who won better though? Like.
Oh, by the way, Jabril, just so you know, if you haven't heard of Kang before, he's this like time traveler that is like, I don't know why. I don't know if there's an explanation, but he's somehow attached to Doctor Doom. We still don't know in what way. There's theories he's his dad. There's theories that he's the future self of Doom. No one really knows.
I thought he was the Iron Lad. He was Iron Lad of. Or I don't know.
I,
Iron Lad
I know
becomes
that
Kang.
I know that that was an origin for him. I don't know that that's what they're going with in canon right
Mm,
now
this
because
is true.
in this book, it was made very ambiguous. Like they didn't give us anything. They touched upon the topic of who he might be, but Kang was very secretive about it. So yeah, so I don't know if maybe they're retconning some of his origin or not, but yeah. So anyways, he for some reason is he's a time traveler who gets sucked sometimes and is forced to just hang out with Doctor Doom because for some odd reason the universe saw fit to stick these two together in some kind of weird relationship where he's just attracted, like his time displacement is constantly attracted to wherever Doctor Doom is. So every so often Doom could be like, I don't know, just having dinner trying to chill by himself and Kang will pop up next to him like, hey, what are we having?
He's like, "What's up, bro?" He's like,
That
"It's
fucking
what's up, man?
sucks.
It's been a long time." He's like,
Or like, you know, he'll be in the middle of fighting like the Fantastic Four, and Kang will show up and go, "Oh, again? Why are you always getting your ass kicked?"
he's like, "Oh, this is what we're doing. Got it. Don't worry." Temporal bubble. Now they're trapped, and now he goes and they go get shawarma together. I love Kang. Kang the Conqueror. He's got like a trophy room with all like the different like iterations of superheroes that he's clapped up. There's
Are you reading any of the 2020 books, by the way, like the Iron Age, Machine Man, Rescue, any of those books?
I'm gonna start.
They're not bad. I'm having a good time with them. Iron Man 2020 is pretty good, and actually, Iron Man 2020, that's basically the whole thing. So Arno Stark
Yeah, didn't he say he's
shows
gonna
up after.
he's like, I'm gonna be Iron Man. He's like, yo, just go be your own dog, man.
Yeah,
Like go be your own person.
yeah.
Like
And Tony's running around calling himself Mach 1 in the Mach 1 suit.
he needs to relax. He's having a crisis. Like he knew what he was doing when he put himself in the body. Like just go talk to some of the mutants. Go see how they feel. Hey guys, how do you feel? How do you deal with dying and coming back? Yo, dog, Tony, this is lit. Like keep
Keep doing that.
like whatever you do, keep doing that shit because I love this. Can't get enough.
Oh man. All right. Well, listen, I think that we're gonna call it a night. Um, thanks everyone for joining in. We really appreciate it. We're gonna try and get another episode out soon. Abdul, do you by any chance read any of the Star Wars comics?
Yeah, I do.
All right, then maybe let's start with that next time because there's a lot going on there that I'd love to talk about.
Coronavirus? Absolutely.
Everyone, stay safe, stay healthy, stay strong, stay inside, and wash your hands.
Absolutely. Wash your ass too. Wash your hands and your ass. Let's get that.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. Yeah, New York State said, Corona, you can catch Corona through the ass. So.
It's like
Catch Corona through the ass. And on that note, guys, all right, we'll be seeing.
all right.
All right, yo, you have a great night. Talk to you soon.